Hey everyone, today we're going to be focused on CrossFitters and why CrossFitters need body maintenance to increase their gains in the gym. So before we dive into it, welcome to the Powered by Iron Health podcast. Our vision is to create a community that raises the standard of health and wellness. I've been doing this now 10 years as a PT. I'm trying to help shift the industry, trying to bring knowledge out to people. We really want to commit to raising the standard. There's a lot of stuff out there that's not where it needs to be. So by us doing these podcasts, we hope you get educated. You can spread the word about what true quality care is. So let's dive into it. We're focusing on CrossFit athletes today, and I'm going to highlight because I'm currently doing CrossFit. A good friend of mine owns a gym. Shout out to Trinity CrossFit in Mayapack. And I'm in it. I'm doing it. And before we even dive into that, the one specific thing is like I can see how people get addicted to CrossFit because the workout changes repetitively every day and you track everything and you always want to get better and you want to do something better. Like I just started doing handstands and I'm like, damn, I can never do handstands. And I did it on the wall and I'm like, damn, this is the funnest thing I could ever do. So I could see how it gets addicting and your body really changes. It's amazing. So it's really an amazing thing. We could do a whole podcast on how you pick a CrossFit gym. I think it's important to find people who are very qualified and great coaches, but we'll leave that to another time. So with me doing CrossFit and getting in there, I realized the stress it puts on your body. And from the PT side, my PT brain goes on and I'm like, what do I need to do to make sure that one, I don't get hurt, two, I enhance my lifts, and we'll talk about specific lifts, and three, just for maintenance, like what do I need to do? These are going to be the three kind of points we're talking about, right? So really, let's dive into maintenance first. If you had an injury in the past, where let's say you strained your shoulder or your pec muscle or something like that, the scar tissue that is built up doesn't just go away, right? The number one reason for an injury is a previous injury. So what does that mean? If you're not repetitively on that and managing it, whether it's soft tissue, whether it's kind of getting on a foam roller or stretching every day, you're more than likely to have another injury. It's just the way it is. It's sad. Like if you ever sprain your ankle, you're going to sprain your ankle again. It's common. Number one reason for an injury is a previous injury. So you need to make sure you're maintaining that. Let's use the pec, for example. If you tore your pec, whether it's benching or doing a push-up or something like that, or let's say when you were younger, you were put 300 on the bar and you thought you could do it and you felt a little pop, probably had a slight tear in your pec. If you don't go to someone to consistently get that worked on, all those adhesions are eventually going to give you a habitat for tearing it fully. So you got to get it elongated. You got to get tissue work done. You can get dry needling. You can get cupping. Any sort of modality to make sure that previous injury is being managed is very beneficial, especially the demands of CrossFit, because you're doing functional motions. You're doing these big, gross movement patterns. You need to maintain those muscles. If you don't, you're looking for an injury. The second aspect is going to be gains. Everyone likes that word, gains. When you're in CrossFit, you're really tracking your progress, seeing what you're doing, and you're seeing your limitations. Let's say, for example, and I'm going to use the most complicated movement, which is the snatch. The snatch, to me, is the most complicated movement because it requires so much mobility, stability, and strength in every single joint you have, from your shoulders down to your ankles. Sometimes when I had people who come into Iron Health, I look at them and I look at an overhead squat just to see where the restrictions are, to see where we have to work. So using that example as a snatch, let's say you're at a weight that's your upper limit. You're being restricted. And you know that your overhead mobility is really what's restricting you. How do you think you get to the next level? You have to work on that overhead mobility. Now, the snatch is complicated because it could be a bunch of things. It could be your lat length, it could be your thoracic spine, it could be your neck. This is where you have to go to someone to actually do an assessment to say, hey, you want to be better at snatching? We have to look at it, see where your restrictions are, and then we work at it. Like I went to a CrossFit gym the other day, and we had a woman who couldn't reach her arm overhead. She was here. She's never going to progress in her snatch if she doesn't get that work done. And she's looking for future injury if she doesn't keep working on that. So just from a little assessment, it was like, all right, you need to work on X, Y, and Z, and you need this tissue work. You need this joint work to make sure that when you go overhead, your shoulder can stabilize, your mid-spine can move. This is your program. This is what you do. You have to get a specific program for where you want to gain and where your restrictions are. The third aspect of getting regular recovery is really recovery, right? Let's call it what it is. If you're going to CrossFit, like I said before, and it's very addicting, you're going 5-6 times a week, what are you doing to actually recover your body? If you don't have a maintenance program where you're doing some sort of stretching, doing some sort of hands-on tissue work, you're doing massage, if you don't have that incorporated in, you're never going to recover. Your body's fully never going to recover, and that's going to decrease your likelihood of gains as well. So it's all connected. Now, the biggest CrossFitters at the top tier, they all have someone that they get work done on. Their bodies, obviously not everyone's at that level, their body's a machine, and they're consistently working on it. But if you're on a small level, you should be working on it too, just for longevity. You love CrossFit and this is what you want to do. Get to someone who can do an assessment to help you out, to take you to the next level. Stay healthy, live longer, and then doing snatches in your 80s, because that's what you want to do. So to summarize all that, if you're a CrossFitter, please find someone that can really help you maintain your body. If you don't, you're gonna potentially have an injury. You're gonna potentially not have as many gains as you want, and then you're never gonna ever not be sore. We don't want that. So this is for all my CrossFitters out there. Thanks for watching.